Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Banished. Now, this week we are going to hopefully get some traders built up and going over here. Now, you've probably noticed that compared to previously, I'm just going to put the simulation speed up a little bit for a minute. The trees have started growing back, and they do that. If you clear the trees in an area, they eventually do start growing back. We have built all of our extra houses. We have a shortage of logs and firewood at the moment. That's going to be our biggest single issue right now. We also have no physician in our hospital. We're down to 25 people. So our biggest problem right now is getting fuel in for the people and then just starting to build the population back up a little bit. So I'm going to go up to 10 times on the simulation speed. And we are going to let things play out for a little bit. We need to keep... We're not got any stuff there. We do have a little bit of iron up here that is still being fetched. But once that is brought back to our village, that's pretty much it, I think, for everything that I've sent them out to gather up. I don't think that there was anything else. Because we sort of cleared all the stone and other bits and pieces, and then we've got stone and we've got iron now starting to be stockpiled in the two different stockpile zones. One thing that we don't have is a stockpile near to the forestry here, which is going to mean that they've got a long way to go. They've got to travel all the way up here. We don't want them to have to do that, so I'm going to build a small stockpile just down here. Just go... Not town serve storage. There we go. Go to a stockpile, and I'm going to build a stockpile over here. I can sort of make it like that, or I can drag it out and make it quite long and thin. If I go... Actually, I'll bring it in a bit. I can go like that. It's a fair stockpile there, so it's a good size. That's going to be all they need. Right, if you just excuse me a minute, I've been doing a lot of recording today, and I'm starting to get very croaky, so I'm probably going to have to stop and take frequent drinks throughout this episode, so I do apologise for that. Right, that's a little bit better. We now have 26 people instead of 25. We've got a couple more children who have started attending school. So if we just take a look at our the number of people that we've got working at the moment, we've got one spare labourer. I want one physician. Now, as we don't actually have disasters turned on, we don't need the physician. We absolutely do not need the physician. Now, a few people have been giving me some advice on different things that I should be doing. The general advice is I don't want two people working the market. The market will cope just fine with one. When the population fills up a lot later on and they've got to be, they really are working hard, then maybe you bring a few extra in. But right now, we really don't need that. And I've always played with putting two in there. I've always had two vendors. So we'll go with one vendor, as that's what the advice has generally been, and we'll leave it at that. I did have the happiness and health levels the right way round. But really, we need to be constant. We need to get firewood, and firewood is going to be the absolute important thing right now. We've got cold people. I mean, they do have coats. They've got plenty of clothing, so it's not going to be a major issue. I don't think it's going to be a killer just yet, but we do have to be aware that it could become a problem. Now, we've got these people here. They are going to come over here for wood, and then they've got to go all the way over to the woodcutter, so he's got a fair way to go. What I'm thinking is we will clear the stone from here, and we'll put in some woodcutters over here. I'm going to put 2 extra foresters' lodges over here. I'm going to put this radial arm will come out from this point. We'll put traders down here, and we'll put foresters' lodges up here. Our workforce is slowly increasing. We're running on 10 times speed at the moment, so we just have to be careful that we don't accidentally run on too fast. I've still got the town hall itself on pause. I'm not doing anything with that. So I'm going to take this one here. I'm not going to remove everything. Removing everything is a very drastic thing to do. I'm just going to collect stone. Removing everything requires a lot of people, a lot of resources to go and gather it all, and a lot of storage space, and it takes a long time to do it as well. So if I bring that over, and there I've got all of the stone in this area that is now going to be gathered up. Then I'm also going to go iron, just in case there is iron in the same area as well, which there isn't. So we've got no iron there that we need to worry about. Then you've also got harvest trees, or you can just do remove roads, remove structures, remove resources. It will remove literally everything if you do remove resources. I don't want to do that at the moment. I do not want to remove resources. So we've got these, all this stone is now being removed. So the next thing that I want to do is, with the radial arm down this way, what I did was I've put all of these, and I've put the houses on that side. Those houses were a mistake. I should have put the houses up there. And that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to learn from my mistake this time round. I'm going to take a road first, and I'm going to build the road out, because I mean, we've got everything that we need. Everything is going well. We don't need to sort of panic about having extra bits of anything anywhere, really. And I'm going to bring a road straight across here as well. And I'm going to run another road up this side. So that's as all the way up. I'll go right up to that point up there. And then from here, I mean, I could put some houses here, and that's sort of still going to be close enough, I think, to be useful for the Foresters' Lodges. They don't have to go very far. You want them to walk as little as possible. So if I was to put here, I could then build 2 Foresters' Lodges on the outside edges up here. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put those building. You can go to... Nope, not that one either. Foresters' Lodge. So we're going to go with one up here. Put that one... Actually, I'm going to bring that one down a little bit. I think we'll go about here, so they don't have to go across the river. They're not going to try to go across the river, and they won't dig into they won't go in the mountains either. If I put that one over there, and I'm also going to take that one up as far as he'll go, so that there's no chance of him digging into the... We'll put that one right there. I don't want him to come over this bridge over here and plant trees on that bit there, because that would be an absolute waste of their time. I really don't want them to be doing that. So the next thing is we're going to want a couple of houses for these guys. And I don't want too many houses, but I do want enough to keep them happy. We can take a look here at where the marketplace extends the range out to. So if I put the houses here, they'll be within range of all of these. Right, excuse me a minute. Right, that's a little better. So if I put the houses here, they'll be within range of the marketplaces. So I'm going to put stone. I'm going to always use stone houses. I'm going to put one here and one here, and then I'm going to rotate them round, and I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one there. I'm not going to go for 2 of all of the rest of them. I'm not going to go for 2 hunters and 2 herbalists and all of that. I am going to go for a hunter. I'm going to put a single hunter in here, because there's going to be a lot of game available up in this area. With what's going on here, with all of these Foresters' Lodges that we're building, there's going to be a lot of game available, and so I think that we should, at least cash in on that a little bit. And the same with the Gatherer. I'm going to put a Gatherer on this side over here. I suppose it doesn't actually... Yeah, I'm going to put the Gatherer about there, so that they will have sort of maximum use of all of it. And finally, I'm going to put in one more herbalist, and the herbalist I'm going to put here, nearer to that there is the herbalist zone. So she's got plenty of area that she can go here. Yes, I am assuming that the herbalist is female, but yeah, the herbalist could be male or female. So they've got plenty of room that they can go in over here. We've got a hunter over this side to take care of a lot of this game that we've got available. And then we've got the other bits over there. So I'm hoping that that is going to be sufficient resources for everything, and we're not going to need to worry about any more. The one other thing that we're going to want is some storage. Now I'm going to want I'm going to want a storage barn over here, and that's just going to be one of those. And I'm thinking that if I don't want to put a storage barn here. Already those 2 houses, actually, I've already thought about it. They are in the wrong place. I don't want them there, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be having trading posts, and the trading posts, actually, it's not going to matter. Those trading posts are not going to interfere with my plans over here. I'm actually going to need... Nope. I tell you what, that bridge there is in the wrong place. I need to put the bridge on this side. That is kind of in the wrong place right there. Unless I can I do it over here? If I can put, yes, I can put one trading post there. So I can put that one there. I want to bring that one back as far as I can. I can't actually take it right to the road, so I'll have to move it here and I'll have to dig some extra road in. I'm going to put that one there, but what I'm going to do is I am actually going to pause construction of that one straight away. And then I'm going to try and get another construction post, another trading post over this way. Bring it in as far as I can. Can I get it to... I can put it right out on there. That's excellent. I'm really pleased with that. I really like that I can put it there. So I can stop that one building as well. And then I'm going to try for another post here, just to see if I can get another... Yes, I can. Right. And I'll put that one right next to it there. So I've got the trading posts. I've got all the trading posts that I need. I could put one there, actually. That would be a better place to put it. So let me... then I've got the 3 of them in together. So I want to cancel that one. Close the windows. Right, I'm going to go to... cancel removal. Remove the structure. Remove that one. And I'm going to remove those 2 houses as well. And then we will go back and we'll try this again. I'm going to put that one there. It does need to be paused. And I'm going to put another trading post. It's going to go right here. There. Okay, so we got 3 trading posts lined up here. And actually I want to pause that one as well so that I'm not... they're already putting in most of the stone that we're going to need for that. So I'm just going to put... they've got all the stone in there. That one is being built. And we're going to need roads. I will put the roads down in so that we've got those in place. They've already moved in. We've got the physician and a student up this way. So let me get a dirt road, and I want to put that one on there like that so that it goes right over. And then I'm going to do it like that, and I'm also going to do it there. Up, and then I'm going to go from here. That's got to go in front of it. That's actually going to be like double road there. That's fine. So I got this little area right in front of me, and that is going to be for some... actually, no, it's not going to be all for houses. What I'm going to do is... that's a herbalist is going to go in there. So this house... actually, I want to put the houses on this side so they're close to the market. That was kind of my thinking over here. I'm not sure if the market will assist with houses that are outside of that range or not. I don't think they will. So we are low on stone, right? Stone doesn't really matter. It's food that we've got to be careful of, and at the moment we're good for food. So we don't really need to concern ourselves with food. Our workforce is steadily increasing. But no, what I do want over this side is I want another woodcutter. And I want that one there. So I want to be... if I can fit 2 woodcutters in here, that would be perfect. But I don't think I can. I can put that one in there. I cannot fit a second one in. There's literally not enough room on either side. So I'm going to put the second woodcutter up there. It's close to these houses. And it's also going to be close by to where I want to put everything else. So I've got 2 woodcutters here. I'm actually going to pause the construction on both of those woodcutters. I don't want those being built yet. So I've got... everything is like being laid out, but I'm not actually continuing with the construction until we've got a little bit further in. I'm going to put a storage barn. Now, the logs don't need a storage barn, but what these other 2 over here, they'll use a storage barn. So I'm going to put the storage barn over on this side of the area. I'll put that one right there like that, and I'm going to get rid of that. I'll put a road here that goes directly behind that storage barn, just like that, so I don't have to go any further. Then this area here, in front of and beside where the woodcutters are, I'm going to put some storage yard in there, because I'm hoping that that area there, the stockpile, that will fill up with chopped firewood. They're going to put a load of firewood in there. I'm also going to... I can't put it a single block wide, but actually that road there I don't think is... yes, it is. That is going to be used. You can't do a single block wide. It's too. It says it's too small. This is... oh, that's too large. Stockpile is too small, so you cannot do it one single block wide. It's not possible to do that, which means that we would need to put this stockpile elsewhere. I'm thinking maybe we could put one here. I don't think that is going to be in the way of anyone. I can't go that far out, but I can go quite a big stockpile over here. I can go a 5x8 right there. That's not going to be in the way. I don't think that we need any more than 3 traders right there. So firewood is going to be our main trading resource. I don't think we need to worry about having more firewood than that. Now we've got 3 foresters' lodges are now open. And the actual number of foresters that we've got is rather limited. Let's go and take a look here. We've got foresters, we've only got 2. So ideally, I want quite a few more. I'm going to add in... you know, I'm going to go for no labourers, and I'm going to go all foresters at the moment. 1 forester in each is not enough. I'd like to have 2 in each of them, like that. So I know that I'm pushing it. I've removed the labourer now. There was 1 spare labourer. He's now out of the picture. So we need this to get up to 30 people. But we've got 2 foresters in every lodge who are planting and cutting trees. Now, these 2 do actually overlap each other, which is a little bit of a nuisance, but it increases their range out to the sides. So, I mean, technically, I don't really need to have those. I could remove one of these lodges and just stick with the one over here. and let that one sort of deal with it. But for now, we're going to go with this one. I will eventually remove one of these, and this will become the main sort of thoroughfare that will come up this way into, opening up this whole area up here. We're not going to worry about that just now. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm adding in this extra piece of forest over here, a little bit there, and this piece in the middle is going to be worked by 4 people instead of fewer. Right, we're down to 28 workers. Who have we lost? We got 6 foresters. Stonecutter, physician is alright. We don't want traders yet. Builders, we got 2. Gatherers, 2. Fishermen, 2. Hunters, 2. The Hunter's Lodge, as I've built some more up here, will have 1 hunter on each one. I would prefer to have 2 on each one, but I mean, people have been saying that I don't actually need 2 fishermen. I could just go with 1 fisherman. I know they recommend 2 of 4. I do normally just go for 2. I normally go for 2 fishermen. I find that to be a good balance. But I mean, I suppose you could have 2 fishing docks and 1 fisherman on each, maybe. But at the moment, I'm going to stick with 2 fishermen working on that 1 dock because it's a miner there. They've taken out one of the miners. We've only got 2 there, and we've got 3 stonecutters, so that's going to be a job that we can already replace that job if we want to. I'm going to wait until we get another person come through. And food at the moment is still okay. We've got 8,000 food, for stored food, and our limits at the moment on food is 10,000. I'm going to increase that now. I'm actually going to increase that to, let me go to 20,000 on stored food, because I'd like to really, really increase the amount that we can have there. Now, fuel is currently on 300. And the actual amount of fuel that we've got, we've got 3 stored logs. We don't have very many at all. And that's firewood there. We've got 0 stored firewood. We have 0 stored alcohol as well. We can't make alcohol yet because we need fruit plantations. And we will get to those eventually. Now, if we take a look up here, we've got this one needs logs. The hunter's cabin. Actually, that one's got 1 more log, and that one will be done. And then down here, we've got 48 logs needed there. Those are all on hold. We've got a house here that still needs logs, and we've got that one just needs 1 log there. So the logs have started to come into the various different places, and I'm not going to do any more for a minute. Right. Our people are now up to 31. They're expanding rapidly because of the number of houses we've got. So we've got to be careful that we don't overdo it with this. The next issue is going to be that we overdo it and we run out of food. So we have to be... The amount of stored medicine is 4. We do have to be a little bit careful that we don't accidentally overpopulate and then instantly run out of food. It's very easy to do that. It is very easy to do that. Miner, I'm going to put the miner up to 3 so that we've got more iron coming in. We've got 3 labourers. We've got 6 foresters. We've got 2 working in every patch for the forestry. Well, there should be anyway. Yes, 2 in each patch. Hunters have now... I'm going to increase those up. I'm going to put 2 hunters working in each patch. That gives us 1 labourer assisting with various tasks that need to be done, which is like carrying items to the different building sites. But that's okay. So we got 2 hunters working. That's going to be even more food being brought in, but more importantly, it's also going to be amount of... Oh, not stored... Yeah, I think that's actually... It does class as stored textiles. It's the skins. It's the skins from the creatures that they catch. And you get stored clothing and the stored textiles, and that's actually... textiles is actually the skins. So we've got a herbalist now that we need. I think that we've still got enough people. Yes, we've got another labourer, so I can go for a second herbalist. There. And then later on, I will increase the number of herbalists that we've got, so that we have 1 over here, plus... we have 2 in each location. I would like to have 2 herbalists in each location. At the moment, we've got 1 down there, and we've got 1... Actually, no, we don't. I just assigned, but it looks like somebody died. A little bit unfortunate. Herbalist, yes, just the 1 at the moment, and we've only got... We don't have any labourers that we've lost someone else. People are dying. People should not be dying. I don't like it when people die. Our graveyard here is actually full. 18 of 18 graves. So we do want to, at some point soon, give them another graveyard so that they can use that, because that will increase the level of... actually, happiness is already completely maxed out, but health needs to be increased. So we do need to work on the health a little bit. What's that there? Oh, someone stopped and just dropped their item that they had. Can I grab you? I can't. I can't stop and get this person. They've gone in here, I think. Peppers. I think they were running around with peppers. I think they were. So our town hall, that was put on hold, wasn't it? So everything else has been put on hold. We do have the herbalist, but we got to wait for our people to come back up now. Who have we lost now? So we've got... Oh, we've lost a stonecutter. That's alright. If I... Actually, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm quite happy with it being left as it is. So these structures aren't being built. All of these structures are now built, actually. We've got a second gatherer's hut. I've got... What? Well, how many gatherers have I got? That one's done as well. Gatherer. I've got 2 of 8. So it would be a good idea if I could get more gatherers. But it's not urgent at the moment. I think we can do without more gatherers. It's the wood. I want the wood to come in, which is why I sort of want to focus on that there at the moment. And that is the last one there that needs to be built. So as soon as that one is built, all of the other structures that we've got ordered to be built are actually currently on pause. Because they're currently paused, they should then start to stockpile a little bit of wood, which is going to be... We've got a little bit of wood stacked down there from this Forester's Lodge, which is working really well. And our food levels at the moment at the beginning of spring are 8,400. You've got to look at the same time each year to compare your food levels to see if they're rising overall or dropping overall. And if they are slowly decreasing, you really need to start taking steps to cure that. That's a very serious problem that's going on. That's why I tend to... I would rather overproduce on food over anything else, because you can usually survive a shortage of everything else, provided you've got food. I mean, if you've got a shortage of clothing and you've got a shortage of fuel, then you do encounter a problem. At the moment, we've got a shortage of fuel. All of these little the frost symbols mean that they don't have fuel. They've got no fuel. But we've now got that guy. He's going flat out producing wood, producing cut logs. And we've got 33 stored logs, 35 stored logs now. So we've got lots of stored logs, but the guy turning it into firewood is not running fast enough just yet. So we kind of need to just wait for him to catch up a little bit, and maybe we could get another one of these, let one of these start building now. We've got 38 stored iron, and we've got 64 stored stone. So we've got storage of both of them available. Unfortunately, we still don't have any children who have come through the schoolhouse yet. And that schoolhouse is not even half capacity yet, so we don't need to worry about that. We've got a 15-year-old student there. That guy's on his own. I don't know if any of these houses are currently abandoned. We've got a lot of children turning up now. They are slowly going to be filling up. We've got an empty house there. We've got some very full houses. We've got a lot of children here. We've got children and students all over. I mean, we've got 7 of each, which is absolutely brilliant. It does mean that things will start to improve soon. We've got, like I said, we've got an empty house there. Have we got any empties? We've got another empty down here. So having the empty houses is actually really, really good. I mean, we do have people dying of old age at various different points, and that's something you've got to be wary of. 31 now, so that means I can get a second gatherer there. And I've only got the 1 labourer, so I do need to be careful of that, but I'd like to... not gatherer, the second herbalist. So I've got 2 herbalists, and then the gatherers. I want 2 more gatherers. That's kind of... Well, I could get 1 more. Gatherers, for the moment, I think I'm going to leave them. What we're going to do next is we're going to allow the number of adults to increase. I'd like those to increase a bit. We've got 3 things that we want built. We want this one here, the town hall. We do want that one built reasonably soon. I also want a church. I want to get one of those because that does help the overall happiness and well-being of the people. So we want a chapel there. And the town hall is currently being built. And I want a bigger graveyard as well. This graveyard, it was down to 13 of 18 graves. So it does kind of use up after time. The graves kind of go and then they can reuse the plots. But I don't want to be doing that too much. I do want to build a bigger graveyard as well. I'm thinking a church would go in there. Fill in that slot quite nicely. We'll see a little bit later on. I think that time has come now We've got... there's some stored logs there. Time has come to start this one up. So we've got... That is 24, 0, 0, and those are 0, 0 as well. So I'm going to take that one off of pause. And let that there be built. And once that one is built and is done, then we can see about which one we do next. So we can sort of drip feed them in stages, and we're not like flooding the place too fast and seriously. Someone has just died, unfortunately. Arathan the Forester died during childbirth. Right, that means we are down 1 forester. We're down to 5 foresters. And that is one of the ones that I wanted to keep fairly high. Our firewood at the moment, stored firewood, is still very, very low. It's too low for the population that we've got. We need more firewood. This has already been built. The labourer managed to bring that in no time at all. So the builders, we've got 2 builders. They can build that up. I do tend to keep 2 builders going. I find that if I just have one, it invariably gets really, really slow to the point where it's just not much fun to play for a while. So go in here and back to these, and we want a woodcutter. I have no labourers that I can assign to wood cutting at the moment. Now I've only got 3 hunters. I'm going to drop that down to 2 hunters, and farmers are 3. We've got 1 farmer on each patch at the moment. Now I've been told that 1 farmer could do a 15 by 15, but I think they struggle to do that. Labourers have just gone up, which means that I can assign a second woodcutter, and someone else just died. It's very up and down at the moment, but I've got 2 woodcutters. So that's the important bit to start with, is we've got these 2 woodcutters, and we'll allow them to just carry on. I need this population to increase. This is the bit where we're kind of sort of stuck on this at the moment. But once these houses, I mean, they are expanding into all of the houses, and we are getting more children. You do get to a point like this where we got several houses with just 1 person in them, and it takes a little while for a lot of those to sort of work through. Once they do, you can then start moving. You can't evict people. It's the one issue that I have with this game, really, is you can't evict. You've got all these single people living in these houses, and it does sound a bit harsh, really. Yep, you know, the solution is just evict everybody from their houses. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good, does it? It sounds a bit authoritarian, really, but to be fair, for the purposes of this game, that is actually the best way forward. If you can evict a whole load of people out of their houses, all the ones that are living alone, you can build a... Let me show you. It's this one here. It's a boarding house. It gives them a temporary place to live when they're homeless. So you can go and knock houses down, kick them out, and then rebuild the houses. And you get couples moving in who will then have children. And so, yeah, you've got an 88-year-old hunter down here. That guy is going to die fairly soon. Woman is going to die fairly soon, I should say. And you've got a 80-year-old male gatherer there, and he's going to die fairly soon. He's 80 years old, and this one here is 88. Once those 2 die, then we get a couple will move into the house and start having children. But if the person is living on their own, it's very rare that you'll have someone else move in with them. So you've got that bit to sort of take into account. So I generally build extra houses, but then you've got to be really, really careful. You've really got to watch your amount of stored food, because with the extra houses, you can suddenly have a population boom, where a whole load of single people have all suddenly died, and you've got couples moving into all the different houses, just the young people moving out of the overcrowded ones, and then suddenly loads more children coming in. Like we got now. We've got 12 children now. I mean, we do only have 28 adults, and we need 30 or 31 in order to get everything running efficiently. So we're slowly starting to lose people from different places on here, but it's okay. These 12 children, who are slowly becoming adults, are going to replace quite a lot of these elderly folk. Let's take a look down here. That person, the 88-year-old one, has now passed away. She has gone, and so is that one. We've got 2 empty houses over here. So when we've got some students that are old, we've got 11 children. When we've got some people that are old enough, they will move in here. So we've got a hunting cabin with nobody in it, and we've got a gatherer's hut with nobody in it as well. And if I take a look at the actual number of jobs here, I've got 1 labourer. I've got 1 hunter in total. So I'm going to prioritize having a hunter back, because they also is the only source of textiles for making coats. And while you have a shortage of while you've got a shortage of firewood, coats are what keep people alive. If you don't have firewood and you run out of coats, people die of cold. And they'll die of cold every single winter. So it's quite important to make sure that you've got a source of textiles. We don't have any cattle ranches or any sheep farms or anything like that. So we have to have hunters in order to provide textiles for the coats to be made. So it's very, very important that we keep the supply of... it's a supply of leather coming in. If you look up here, we've got... no, not that one. Here, in the tailor, hide coats from leather. And right there, we've got some leather. Not a huge amount, but we do have some coming in. Farmers, we've got 1 for each field. So we don't need to worry about those. I've got my 2 builders. Miners and stonecutters, 3 and 2 at the moment. Foresters are on 5. I'm going to leave those on 5 for now. And we've got 2 herbalists as well, so there's 1 working in each property. The gatherer, as soon as I'm able to, I'd like to increase the number of gatherers back up to 2. So that we've got plenty of gatherers. But the people are dying again. Yeah, they are slow. It does take a while. It can take a few seasons to try and get through sort of a point like this. And then you can start expanding again. I could try building some more houses, and that is one way forward. We got a lot of children here. I got 9 children. I got 7 students now. I got a lot of single people living in houses, and I've also got empty houses, which is an indication that we don't need to worry about this too much. There's a lot. All of these are single. See, this is why it's not that great. Yeah, a lot of these single ones, they're not going to move in with anybody else. And I don't think there isn't at the moment any way to kick people out of their houses. It would be good if we could persuade them to, just at least share. We've got a student there living on her own, but she's only a student, so we may have somebody move in with her. And another student there living on her own. So we will see how this progresses. This is where it sort of slows down and can start to cause you a few problems. But we do have now, we've got 180 stored firewood. So the stored firewood is now, that issue seems to have sort of been taken care of. The trader here will be storing logs, and they will also be storing firewood. They got 89 firewood here, but we don't have anyone with issues with the cold anymore. That has now become a thing of the past, which means that we can move on to the next point. Now, I'm happy with these 2 at the moment. I am going to increase that at some point. But the next thing I want to do... Actually, I don't know. Town hall or trader? Which should we go for? Town hall or trader? I really want this town hall built. I really do. But I think the trader is going to have to take priority. Because a trader... Let me unpause that one. A trader will allow us the opportunity to trade for cattle and for orchard seeds. So we can get apples and pecans and... pears and plums and stuff like that. So then we can start brewing alcohol, and there's all kinds of things that we can make. And trading for the animals is one of the most important aspects of it. But we can also trade for all the other seeds that we don't have. At the moment, all we've got is these 2 seeds here. We've got cabbages and we've got peppers. When you start trading, you can start unlocking a whole host of extra seeds and things like that. And that increases people's... I mean, at the moment, people's health is now 4.5. The average health of the citizens is 4.5, which is really good. That's really high. It means that they're getting all the medicines they need. And we've got the hospital there as well. That's helping out. We're up to 29 people, 7 students, 10 children. Those numbers are very encouraging. Those numbers are very promising. Let's just head down south a minute and see how we're doing with numbers. We've got a couple in there. A single student there. That's my timer going off. We've got a single student there, and we've got a family there. Have we increased at all with the number of places that got couples? Doesn't look like it, but I think there's hope. I don't know what the numbers are for, like, the number of people that will... I think there's like a set age that people will have their children in. But there's also a set age that if a person is living alone after a set age, they won't have someone else move in with them unless they move into a house on their own, and then nobody ever moves in. They've got to move in at the same time, and if they don't, then they stay forever alone, which is kind of sad, really, to be honest. You know, they move into their own place and they just stay on their own forever. That is somewhat depressing, really, isn't it? But yeah, that is something that can happen. So we're up to 125. So we've got our trader. It's done. I have just about run out of time, so I'm going to need to quickly get this going. So this means that we can now have traders coming through. So what you can do, you've got an inventory in here. You've got trade here. And this is what will happen when we get a boat to come in and actually do the trading. And then we've got purchases here. And we've got orders that we can place orders with certain people. So I'm just going to zoom out a minute. And you will see boats starting to come along the rivers in a little while. And they will start coming up to the trader. That is where your animals will be stored, if you can get animals. But what you can do is you can have a desired count of items in here that you can then trade later on. So how many you want and how many you have. That's something that you can put in here. So what I'm going to do is firewood is a really good thing to trade. It's a renewable resource that you can trade quite a lot of. I generally, in the past, have traded a lot of steel tools because you can, once you get to the point where you can make steel tools, you can make loads of them. And coats as well has been really good. I don't tend to trade food because I really want food. Our food, actually it's late summer, so we don't really know what our food is doing at the moment. But firewood, I am now going to bring firewood in here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go for 1,000. No, I'm not. I'm going to go for 2,000 firewood to be stored in here. Now, 2,000 does seem like an awful lot, but it's going to be worth it. It's definitely worth it. Now, I've got nobody working here at the moment, and there will eventually be somebody working here. So I'm going to go for 1,000, and then I should be able to trade anything that turns up later on as and when it's needed. I mean, the firewood at the moment, all storage of firewood, is actually at max. So what I'm going to do now is I want to increase the amount of fuel that is available, amount of firewood, and I'm going to go increase that one all the way up to 1,000 fuel. I don't know if the market, what's stored at the trading post, actually counts towards the total maximum on the map. I don't think it does. I think when it's put into this area here, it's removed from the total amount that is stored on the map. It's not included in those totals. We've got 9 and 10 children and students at the moment, which means that we've got a whole load of students about to start coming into jobs fairly soon. I've got a labourer there. So if I go for my trader, I'm just going to go one trader in there. I know that I don't have a labourer at the moment, but that trader is going to be very useful. He's going to start going from this point over to here and grabbing some of that firewood and really getting to work with that. So we've got lots of people all over the place. Oh, we're up to 30. We've got another one. So we've got 8 students now, 10 children. So I'm now in a position, I've got a labourer at the moment. I'm going to keep a labourer, but we're in a position where we will eventually be able to start replenishing some of these. I can get my gatherers back up. I want 2 gatherers in every gathering hut. I want 2 foresters in each one. I actually prefer to run 3 foresters in each if I can. And I'd also like to run 2 hunters in each. So I want 2 there. I want another 3 there, which is 5. Plus another 3 there. I want 8 extra people for jobs. To really kind of maximize production. But I tend to do that. I tend to sort of go for that kind of levels a bit later on in the game. I don't tend to do that early on. And at the moment, we can just kind of leave this going. We've got a worker in here, and I don't think we need to concern ourselves with the rest. We've got 280 stored items in there. Let me just go to the maximum. Oh, that just sets the maximum. Amount of stored firewood is 110, and we've got 300 in there. This doesn't count in the total amount stored. So they will just keep working now until they've filled the storage. They will have filled the market over here with as much as the market is going to bring in, and all of the storage and everything. The whole lot all in together is what they will generally accumulate. We've got 350 here. So really what we're waiting on now is traders to turn up, and we also want the numbers to go up a little bit. We still need our population to climb, and our population isn't ready to climb yet, but we do now have a trading post. We've got the trading post here. It's ready, it's up, it's working, and we've got a worker in there that is slowly acquiring a few different resources. Well, one resource at the moment that we're going to be using for trading later on. I'm hoping this is kind of the beginning, and we will then be able to... I don't like all of these single people. There's an extra person living in there, and... yeah, there's a lot of single people here, which I think is actually kind of bad. And it does look like a few people are now like shuffling up together, moving around a little bit so that we get more people into the houses. We're up to 31. 9 and 8, that's really good. I think that actually means... yeah. So we should be good to go with that. We've got our woodcutter over here. We've got 31 people working, which means we've got 2 labourers, so I can start... I'm still not going to build... I'm not going to push any of those out yet. But I will authorize the construction of our town hall. That one can start now. So we want 50 odd iron, or 40 iron, not even that, 30 iron. We've got plenty of iron, and then stone we need like 100, but we got 150 odd stone in storage anyway. We've got loads of stone in storage, we don't need to worry about that. Iron we got a bit in storage. Oop, I accidentally got rid of that one. That's the one that I want to keep that one there. Yeah, so we've hardly got any iron in storage now, and we still need a lot more. That is a little bit of a problem. However, it's not a major issue. I mean, the biggest reason that we've got that is because at the moment we have only got 2 people working. Oh no, we've got 3 people working in the mines. The mines are fairly slow. That is one thing that would cause it, is the mines are notoriously slow for producing items. We need 5 more iron, and at the moment our stored tools are nearly 200, so we got no worries about the blacksmith temporarily being starved of iron and then not being able to do anything. He's got everything that he needs. There's 2 more iron in storage. Should be brought over, so that'll leave just 3 more that we need to get. That should be done fairly soon. I can see that's going to... oh, we got iron over here. How much is in there? Oh, there's 2 there. That's coming from this one here. They're just bringing it straight out, bringing it over. It's our labourer. It's now running. We've got another one in storage already. So we're on... oh, already full. They're already full. So we'll start building this town hall now. I want to get this one built just before we finish so that you can see the town hall in all its magnificent glory. I like the town hall. It looks good. It also shows you some very cool different bits and pieces. That is helpful to know. And you can find later on that you get nomads will turn up. They will just come knocking on your door and say, can we please move in? You do have to be a little bit careful allowing the nomads to move in. It does mean that you can suddenly put a glut of workers all over the place if you can find housing for them. But they then suddenly start eating a mass of extra food. And that is the bit that will slow you down. It's really stopped on 159 of 60. Come on, there we go. Right, so now we've got all of the professions, everything. We can assign them through here. And you can go to the different ones. So trader, I can go to the trader. I can see the trade post. See the trading post and see that one working. Production here, this is what we're currently getting and used, produced, used in a year and produced in a year. So we've produced 4,200 food and we've used 4,800 food. That's not very good. Tools we're making more. Fuel we're making more than we're using, but food is critical. We are currently not making as much food as we want to bring in, and that is because our hunters and fishermen and gatherers and everything are currently they've got low staff on them. So that's something that we've got to be very, very aware of. This is our total inventory that we've got. So we've got no venison, potatoes or mushrooms or leather at the moment, and that's because of we've got no hunters. So coats, they're crucial. Nomads at the moment, they will request citizenship, and then this is the trait. Oh, we've got pecans. Oh, we've got orchards. Oh, so we can do 1 orchard of pecans, but we can't do any other. So we will have to build an orchard fairly soon. That's on my to-do list. And here is our first trader. We can deal with the trader. In he comes. There is a trader. So we go over to here and we click on this one. So you go to trade. I'm actually going to change this down here to just 1 time, just a second. We got bean seeds that we can get. We got berries and we got pear. They don't have any items, but the value of these, one of those costs 2,500. Berries and pears are 1 each. Firewood is worth 4. Firewood is worth a lot of money. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get those bean seeds, but because we do have a bit of an issue with food, food is being used up at the moment faster than we can produce it. To be on the safe side, I'm going to buy all of that as well. So what I'll do is I will just put the treble 3 in each of those, like that. And so I need a total of 2,833 items here. So all I got to do is just add this until such time as I've gotten... Why is that now on 3,000? Oh, it's because I added in the extra. I need 3,000 for firewood, and I've got enough to get. I've got enough to be able to do that. I've got 1,439, and I want 3,166. Yeah, 3,200. You're overpaying by 4 units. So I'm actually going to go 799 like that. 97 maybe. What's that give me? That's overpaying by 22 units. 92. Overpaying by 2 units. That's fine. So we'll do that trade. Actually, you know what I can do? I can actually just... no, I don't want to do that. I want to reduce that one down by 2 units there. And then I'll reduce that one down by 1 unit there. And that'll be exactly right. He can take 2 pairs back home. So we trade... There we go, we got all of that, and we've got 648 firewood left. If we look on the inventory here, 648, we've got 333 berries. Because we've got desired 0, those will actually get moved out of there. The same with the pears, they will get moved out as well. So that has now gone into food consumption. That's good. So we've got extra food for the winter. And we've also then got the seed. And I'll just go over here and show you this one. Look on here. Go to trade items. I've now got beans as well. So I'm going to scrap one of these fields. I'm actually going to change that one over to beans so that we've got one of each of the crops that we've got. And then the next item that we're going to build, which is fairly soon, we want to build an orchard. We don't currently have an orchard, and I would like to do that. So let me just, I'm going to put that back to just 2 times for a minute. So we've done the trading there. That trade has now happened, and the market will eventually take the berries and the other stuff that they had as well. Right, so what do we got now? We've got onions, mushrooms, roots. They don't actually have... They've got 126 venison there. Yeah, these items here will eventually be moved out of here. I can't remember if the market person's got to come and get them or if the trader here has got to take them away, but it's one or the other. You'll speed the whole process up by having more employees working in either of those situations. We've got 2 labourers here, so we want more gatherers. I put another gatherer in. I've got 2 hunters working at the moment. I really do need more, but I'm going to go for another gatherer so that I've got both gatherers' huts at least doing something. That's going to be a thing for a start. Next week, I am really hoping that we will be able to increase... Well, our population is increasing. You can see this now. Our population is about to start increasing at a reasonable rate. So we can think about building some more houses. We've got plenty of logs coming in, which means we've got plenty of firewood being cut. That's all being dealt with. We've got no worries or concerns there. We're going to want to get another trade post up and running. We're going to want to try to build a church for the people. And we're also going to see about moving the farmland out this way a little bit more and building some orchards. Or at least one orchard, so that we've got more variety of food being produced for all of the people. But not only that, with the orchard being produced and slowly getting extra food in, it's more variety, which keeps everybody healthy, and it's going to combat this issue where we're now currently using more food than we're producing. And that's something that we're very concerned about this. Okay? This is something that we're concerned about. Produced 5, used 4, 7, but... Produced in... I don't know what this number here... I don't know if that's like the total number or what. I'm not quite certain. But it's this here. Used 1 year, produced in a year. So we've used 4,800 and we've only produced 4,200. And that is... If I go 2 years... See? We're producing far less than we're consuming. And that is something that I'm very, very concerned about. We need to stay on top of that. So we'll deal with that. We'll deal with all that next time. If you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.